I'm gonna send them to space, man.
Yeah.
This spaceship ain't fucking coming back though, baby.
Hello and welcome to episode 508 of the Mark and Me podcast. As always, I'm your host Mark. Now, it brings me great pleasure to announce today's guest because you all know my love for the absolute incredible masterpiece and in my opinion probably the best British film out there, Dead Man's Shoes. In the past, I've been lucky enough to have Paddy on the podcast, but today, after years of waiting, I can finally say the words that on today's episode, I'm joined by the absolute legend, Toby Kebbell. We talk massively on this episode about Dead Man's Shoes, because of course we are. And with the release of the brand new Second Sight Special Edition, which has been years in the making, it's a great time to celebrate this absolute masterpiece. And that interview will be coming up in a couple of minutes with me and Toby. But before we get there, let's quickly touch base and talk about my last episode. It was only out a few days ago, and I was joined by Danny McNamara from the incredible band Embrace. Thank you so much to everyone that listened, that tuned in and shared the episodes as always. The numbers were massive, everyone loved Danny, and I can't wait to get him back on in the near future. But today, it's all about Dead Man's Shoes. So let's get to the interview with me and Toby Kebbell. Toby, welcome to the Mark and Me podcast.
Thanks for having me, Mark. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Long story short, the podcast has been going almost 10 years. I've just hit 13 million downloads, and I don't just have actors, I have directors, I have musicians, bands, all different people from all different walks of life.
Congrats, man. Excellent.
Thank you, dude. I've been a huge fan of your work, and what I ask all actors when they come on the podcast is taking it right back to the very beginning. Was there a certain film you watched as a kid or a TV performance from an actor that made you want to be an actor, or how did it come about that you said to yourself, I want to give that a go?
Interesting enough, yeah, there are probably nothing stands out as like, oh, that was the one. But I'd always wanted to act. I went to Catholic school, so I was doing, the plays. And when I was tiny, I had the part of innkeeper too. And I was so upset that Matthew Woolgar was playing Joseph with Stacey Holland, who had the most beautiful hair. And we're in nursery. And I remember Matthew Woolgar and James Baker, he was one of the wise men, and Sri Ram Ramagopalan, he was one of the wise men. I was like, man, innkeeper too.
That's all you wanted?
All I want, like a wise summit, wise. I play a camel. I don't know, someone who's in the final part. And by the way, I've ruined my own story because I wasn't even innkeeper 2. I was innkeeper 1.
What?
I haven't any room. Wasn't even the second one who's like, yeah, you can have my barn. Go over there. Let a child be born. I was innkeeper 1. Just not, So comes my turn, and I'm so upset with poor old Matthew Woolgar, who's a lovely dude, walking up with, Mary, and do you have any room for the inn? And I leant on the pretend door we had in, and I said, no, and walked back inside, and it got a laughter. And I think that's the part where I was like, hold on, everybody laughed. I haven't heard everybody laugh at anyone else during this play. There's comedy here in this play. So yeah, I think I wish I was cooler, but I think I'm addicted to the round of applause and the laughter. I love it.
And you only needed one word, man. Everyone else was having lines they had to learn. You were just like, no.
Yeah, did it with the lean and the no. I was lucky. So I got encouraged to do it as well, and it got attention from my older brothers, who are my heroes. It got attention from my mum and dad, which is, an impossibility in a family of 5. And, it got special, treatment with it after school, which I didn't want to go home. It was a nightmare in that. You had 5 kids in a house of poverty.
Chaos.
Nightmare. Fucking hell. You put your arm around your dinner. You're like, fuck off! Don't touch my. You fat, get off. So yeah, for me, anything out of school was great, and I had great teachers. That's the lucky part. I had Ray Dix, who sadly passed. It was incredible, and then I had Jonathan Cleaver, who was brilliant. And Jonathan took me to one of his plays that he had directed out of school. He'd invited me. It was on a Tuesday afternoon or something. And I met a guy named Johan Myers. And Johan, if you know and ever get lucky enough to meet Johan, is the most entertaining human being you can spend time with. He's just brilliant. And he can't get anywhere on time. And he'll tell you himself, he's capable of making it anywhere on time. He's not going to be there on time, but when he gets there, it will be excellent. And he was a friend of my older brother, Matt. And so when I didn't know what to do years later after, secondary school, high school, as everyone's calling it, Johan said, "Oh man, you should go to the workshop. It's cool. It's great down there. And there's open auditions like once a year." So I went down and had an audition. And again, I met two great teachers, Alison Rashley and Ian Smith. And they nurtured my stupidities and my immaturities and my insecurities. And I got a Shane Meadows film.
How cool is that?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And yet, probably the whole time, I was like, oh man, I can't get a break. I'm one of those idiots.
Was that moment for you when you got that Shane Meadows film, the moment that you felt it was enough to justify to your parents that you could become an actor, that you could tell your friends and family that probably said, come on, son, you need to get a proper job. Like, this isn't going to happen. Like, this is a dream. Like, you're not going to be Kurt Cobain. You're not going to be the next Leonardo DiCaprio. Everyone's scared of their son wanting to turn around and try and be in a dream world.
Yeah. Try and expose themselves and be judged and ridiculed. I had it twice. I got a film with Shane called Skull, and I was playing the local thug who was going to be in love with Jo Hartley, who plays the mum in Dead Man.
She's been on the podcast, absolute legend.
I mean, love her to pieces. And she was going to play like the local mum, the unwed mum, and the film got cancelled. So I got both. Man. I went and told my parents, I have got a job and I am a professional actor, actually. And then the film was cancelled. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, actually.
About that, yeah.
Yeah, I ballsed that up. And then Shane called back and he said, look, man, I got this little part I want you to try and play. And I said, yeah, I'll give it a swing, Shane. I've no clue how to do that, but I'll have a go. And I sat with him and he was going to play Sonny. He was going to play Gary Stretch's role.
Wow.
Brilliant. He was amazing at it. He was so good, man.
I want to see the tapes now. I want to see him audition and do some parts.
And he had little, there's a brilliant way of luring you in. And that's why Dead Man's Shoes is so excellent, because it's hilarious when Al dies and they drive off his gear. And that's just Shane's humanity pouring out in his work, because that's how he is. He gets you involved. And you've already done it before you're questioning whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. But that's just why he's a great director, because he gets you involved in this. And you're like, yeah, go on then. That's how he got me to do Northern Soul, which is a short film on the new DVD. I think it was on the original, and then I'm glad they brought it back. And I just used to do an impression of poor old Mark Herbert, who's a lovely... But he talks like that, Not one of those. He talks and he says these things. He's like, have you ever noticed, like, cars, that 4 wheels? Like, what? You're like, what are you talking about? No, I love brown nipples. And you're like, what are you on about? So I came up with this thing. We'd be driving to the chip shop and I'd just be doing something. Shane was like, man, you ought to do that guy, but he's going to go and get in a professional wrestling match. And I was like, yeah, go on, thinking, where are we going to find a professional wrestling match? I was like, yeah, go on then, let's do it. Hanging about with Shane, filming. And of course, Shane finds a local troupe touring around England. And they have, and he's like, no, put that caveman outfit on, man, and just go out. And I'm literally like, oh, Shane, man, I don't know. Come on, where's Mark Herbert? Where's Mark Sherbert? I'm like, mate, the albino salamander. And when you catch Shane in a giggle, you feel like you've won the lottery. You know, when you make him giggle just by saying the albino salamander, it gets you going and you're like, yeah, I'll do anything. It'd have been a great, great warrior, great leader of men because he just get you to do out and send your arms off and you're like, why did I do that? And Shane's over there laughing. So, yeah, that's working with Shane. So I had both. I'm an actor. Oh, no, I'm not. No, forget it. I'm back to actor. And I think the egg on my face from the first one caused quite a humbling of my character. So, yeah, I think also, man, I'll be honest, my parents believed in me. They just didn't want me to be an idle bastard. They were like, don't just sit around watching telly.
Yeah, I'm reading a script, Mum. Get up off your ass. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, I was lucky. I had proud parents,
That's good, isn't it? Because a lot of actors I speak to have already got the kind of first hurdle of just winning their bloody loved ones over. And if that's your first hurdle, never mind trying to get in front of a director or an audition tape or make a name in the industry. If your biggest battle straight away is your bloody own blood, it's tough.
Don't do that to your kids. Just whether they're stupid or not, just believe in them. You've got to. It's at the beginning of the book, Matilda. Where he's like, it's a damn shame that some parents believe their kids to be prodigies. You don't have to go that far, but just wicked, nice one. Be safe. Please understand if it doesn't work, you can come back and get a job at Tesco. Just have a go. Then bollocks, forget it. So yeah, man, lucky break.
So Dead Man's Shoes, obviously, truly I say this with my hand on my heart, and I would have said it before today's interview because I've had Paddy on the podcast.
Wicked.
Probably one of the greatest British films of all time, and stands the test of time. And I wondered what it was like being on set with Shane, and then I know it sounds strange, but being in Paddy's presence when he's delivering, for me, probably one of the finest British acting performances ever. And I'm wondering, you're in character, you're acting aside him, you're in the moment, but do you ever let yourself slip and be mesmerized by what's going on and think, fuck, like I need to not react? Because I would lose myself. I'd be like, this is fucking incredible. I'm like watching it live. I'd be too immersed in it to then forget that I need to be acting too.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Paddy's so excellent. I was very intimidated by the idea of being around Paddy. And then I was around him for 20 minutes and I was like, oh, he's a sweetheart and a goofball. And he does the most incredible Alan Partridge I've ever heard, apart from Alan Partridge. It's spectacular. And he does it all the time, and so for me, I was giggling and laughing and hanging out. And then the nerves that came were that I was going to let the team down and be the one who did a terrible, goofy, underprepared job. So I had my own stresses privately. And hanging around with Shane and Paddy, I don't stop laughing. I'm actually probably annoying to hang around with them because I'm just laughing at them all the time. And I'm sure at some point they're like, is he laughing at my hair? And, or whatever it is. But I find them hilarious and splendid to be around. And I just, surely I was desperate to be as good. Because I'd seen A Room for Romeo Brass. That was probably the film, going back to the earlier question, apart from watching Scum. I remember watching Scum and thinking...
Oh, Scum, wow.
Fucking hell, is that
nasty
real?
Shit, yeah.
Fucking hell, is that a real... What the fuck are you talking about? And then Nil by Mouth. So there's other brilliant, blistering performances. I would say Room for Romeo Brass beats Dead Man's Shoes, even though I love Dead Man's Shoes and it's brilliant in every aspect. But Paddy's performance in Room for Romeo Brass is Oscar worthy. Man,
yeah.
Who is that person? Who is that human being?
Same as Journeyman. Everything I watch him, I'm like, he should win every award that's ever been fucking made.
Yeah, he puts the effort in, and I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, I'd love to say he was overly intense and this great acting coach but he wasn't trying to do that. There's no if Paddy's going to patronise you, it's going to be on purpose. You know, it's not a greater than thou, better than
No.
position. It's just out to
He's the
have a
most humble guy I've ever met. I go to a lot of festivals and I see him all over the summer. I keep seeing him. And we're comparing tattoos and we're chatting about Deftones and we're talking about music. And I have to forget and think, Mark, this is Paddy, like one of your favourite actors ever. And he's talking to me like, all right, mate, do you want a drink? How's it going? I'm like, why
He's
is
big
not
into
everyone
music,
like
isn't he,
you?
Paddy?
Oh
Paddy
man,
loves music.
yeah.
He's big into it. And I always remember that and him wanting to be in a band. And I was like, you're a brilliant actor. Why would you be in a band?
He's
But
doing both now.
loved it. He loved it. You know, he just loved it. So, you know, him and Shane, they both love music. I mean, that Stones documentary, Shane, is brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and that, by the way, was Mark Herbert's why Mark's there, is the music, because that, you know, company he was working for, Wax, Nightmares on Wax or whatever it was. He just had he introduced me to the um Grey album, Danger Mouse and Jay-Z mixing
Nice.
the music, the Beatles, the White Album. Unbelievable. So yeah, they love music and all of that. It's just like hanging around with great people you want to be friends with. And your insecurities are, what do I bring to this environment? You know. So
When
now,
you're on set of this incredible film and you are filming, you're reading the script, for the part you play, and I mean this with absolute full respect, didn't it have to be a case of less is more? So your small reactions while things are happening, because you've got these special learning difficulties that are so convincing and so respectfully acted. Is it all about the mannerisms and the way you move and the way you react to stuff and the way that you've got this like inner anxiety on the set? Are you really kind of honing in on the fact that you can't be this over animated performance? It's got to be subtle, but that subtlety shouts louder than anything.
no, because there's no script and it's improv. And my main focus, honestly, was not laughing. Paddy, when we're doing that scene on the tires, which is one that people who are big fans come up and say, "Oh man, you know, what were you going through there? What did you do?" And I was like, I was trying not to laugh because every time Paddy did the take, he went, "What? Who was that kid who used to pull his arsehole out?" And Shane said, "Paddy, you can't say arsehole, man. It's too funny and it's not." All right, yeah, no, let's do it again. Yeah. Who was that kid who kept pulling his arse out? Had all that fucking bonfire toffee around his arsehole.
Okay. And then you're gone.
Fucking hell, Paddy. So I'm trying not to laugh. I wish I had like a cool acting thing that happened, but no, man, my focus was being
Not laugh.
funny, being genuine, and not laughing at Paddy's things. And Shane, as I said, who's got an infectious laugh, and you can hear Shane go from across the field with his cans on, and you're like, "Oh man, come on, Kebbell, don't laugh. Fucking hell, you're ruining the takes." And it was film, so I'm ruining
Yeah.
takes and
Costing a lot of money.
and I'm like, "Fucking come on." And Shane was like, "Come on, man, Toby, you can't laugh at that." And I'm like, "No, I know, Shane. I'm so sorry, man. I'll do better. I'm sorry, mate. All right, let's just have another go. Try not to laugh." And that was my focus.
How is one of the most serious acting films of Great Britain so funny that you're not being able to compose yourself from laughing out loud about asshole? Like, it's just crazy. Isn't it crazy? Dead Man's Shoes. I never thought I'd be talking about laughing at an arsehole.
Yeah, but Paddy's delivery is tremendous, man. He's excellent. He's really excellent.
I want to talk to you for hours, dude, and I know we've only got 2 minutes left, which is honestly, I'm like, I want to talk to you. I want to get you back on because I've had some actors on.
We got I Play Rocky coming out,
Yeah,
so that'll be out November.
come back on, man, because I've had people like Alex Winter on 4 times, Neil Marshall 3 or 4 times. Please come back on because I want to talk to you for longer.
It'd be a pleasure. Yeah, it'd be a pleasure.
But what I want to ask before we've got this last minute left, what I do on this podcast, every guest that comes on, even from episode 1, which is nearly 10 years ago, gets to choose the outro music. So it's your moment now, Toby. And I wondered, is there a song that means a lot to you in the history of music? I know I'm being cruel with only a minute left, that you would love to be played on the end of today's interview between me and you.
Do you know what? I'm gonna fall apart with the name, but in Dead Man's Shoes, after the car's broken down and they're walking back to the house just before Paddy kills them all, there's a
Spoiler.
song sung by Shane's friend who
Right.
sadly committed suicide, passed away, and it is an excellent song, and I think it's called Afterlight,
Afterlight.
and it's lovely. It's lovely, and it fits in with what this is, about the re-release of the anniversary. I'm now lucky to have an anniversary of a film that anyone cares about, having been
That's
so.
by Clay Hill.
Is it Clay
That's what it's
Hill?
telling me, yeah.
Yeah, Clay Hill, that sounds right. And they did the music for the short we did, Northern Soul. And I think that's their other album, Northern Soul. But the music on Dead Man's Shoes, that one song, it's lovely. And it's edited really well for the film. But yeah, it's a lovely piece. It's a great outro.
And as we've got 1 minute left, how's it feel to see Second Sight give it the treatment it deserves? I mean, there was so much teasing going on. As a fan of, physical media still, to own it now and have that beautiful artwork and the book and your commentary and all the new features and the specials. Isn't it beautiful to have that on your collection that can be like kept and treasured forever instead of it just being a digital download that's gone and lost in the bloody world of...
It is. And I just worked, as I said, I worked on I Play Rocky, and I worked with Tracy Letts, who's a spectacular human being. I mean, he's, for Christ's sake, a Pulitzer Prize winner. He's a, playwright, but he has the most exceptional collection, DVD collection. And it's for me and him and fans like that. He really is an avid collector and has a library digitized so he can find his own DVDs. I don't mean his own, the movies he's in. I mean, find his DVDs. But, and it was lovely to talk to him, and I'd heard this was happening. And so I'll be getting a copy for him to put in, because it'd be, it's an honor to be in someone like that's library,
Unbelievable.
But yeah, I love it. I love it so much. And I love that they've included Northern Soul again. And I'm a big fan. I love digital, it's great. But, when I want to watch something, I want to get out my DVD and put it,
I love all the packaging and all the even the cover and the artwork. I just look at it for hours. I'm like, this is beautiful.
And I used to love finding bargains in HMV and Virgin.
Mm.
Bargain bins, and you think, man, that's in the bargain bin. Harvey was in there. That's how I saw
like five for 20 quid or whatever. You'd be like, wow.
Mate, it was $4.99 or $2.99 or something.
Unbelievable.
It was $2.99 in the bargain bin, wrapped in the plastic. Got the DVD. I still have it. I love that film, Harvey. Such a great performance by James Stewart, man. Unbelievable. So
thank you so much for coming on the podcast, dude. I'm very aware I don't want to run you over and then have that knock-on effect, but please come back on. I'd love to have a full episode with you.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'd be honored.
Awesome, man, and good luck with the new film as well.
Thank you, brother. Be well.
So there's my interview with me and Toby Kebbell. What an amazing guy. And yes, I know the interview's short. I want him back on. It's always like this in the world of Mark and me. We get someone on for a short space of time and then hopefully secure time with them again and get them back on. And I would like to say and give you a little insight that behind the scenes right now, I'm talking to Toby about him coming back on in the very, very near future. So stay tuned for that. But I don't think I've laughed that much in 20 minutes on any episode of Mark and Me. Toby was hilarious. I loved his stories about school. I loved his stories about being on set of this absolute incredible masterpiece of a movie and it never being serious, even though it is one of the most serious films out there. And it was just an incredible interview. So thanks so much for Toby for coming on the podcast. And I can't wait to have you back on very, very shortly. And to you guys at home, thanks for listening. If you can take the time to share it, I know how many people out there love this movie and love his acting work. So please share the episodes on your Facebook accounts, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or just tell your friends. If you know someone that loves films, especially something like Dead Man's Shoes, tell them about the podcast, because I think everyone will jump on board, listen, and then go back and listen to maybe 500 episodes that are there waiting for them, for anyone that's just tuned in. And also I want to give a big shout out to the sponsors of Mark and Me. Firstly, starting with Richer Sounds. Anyone that wants anything to do with audio and visual should visit any of their high street stores or go on their website, richersounds.com. And secondly, Vice Press, the best poster company in the world that has licensed prints from all the greatest artists out there. And if you go over to their website, vicepress.com, add anything to the basket and use the discount code MarkandMe26, you will save yourself 10% off your first purchase, which is an incredible opportunity to get yourself some beautiful licensed goodies. And I do have a Patreon account. If you go on markandme.com and click the link, any support on there goes right back into the making of Mark and Me. But for 2026, all the money that comes on Patreon will be donated to charity. So please, if you can support that, it would go a massive, massive way. Now, as always, guys, I just want to say that there's a brand new release by Second Sight of Dead Man's Shoes, one of the greatest films of all time. The packaging, the extras, everything is stunning, so go and treat yourself to that. And in the meantime, I'll be editing a brand new episode of Mark and Me, which will probably be out in a couple of days' time. So until then, look after yourself, take care, and I'll speak to you all very soon.
When the dust is settled, will you make it back? Our days will number, our days will wreck. We fought and we lost through Indian night. Today's dark as cloud was yesterday's light. We must aspire out of control, so far in glory, rage in my skull. All we become to make it seem right. Today's darkest cloud was yesterday's light. When the people have vanished, will you make it home? Our days of squander, our days were sown. Timbers of madness fell from great height. Today's darkest cloud was yesterday's light. We must aspire out of control, so far in glory, rage in my skull. All we become to make it seem right. Today's darkest cloud was yesterday's light. Yesterday's light.